Hi, everybody, and welcome to another bright, wonderful Wednesday, July 30th. And you are welcome again. Sorry, I'm jumping in the text here. To the Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with your radiant hosts, Anne and Corrine, a celestial space for soul exploration, awakening, and truth. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
In today's illuminating episode, we journey into Insight 6 from the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. The role of intuition. Trusting intuition helps guide us. Have you ever felt a nudge from within, an unexplainable knowing? Just, when we just know without knowing why we know, or a whisper of guidance that seemed to come from beyond. That's your intuition calling, and it's more powerful than you think. Indeed, it is. Tonight, we'll decode how these sacred signals shape our paths, align us with synchronicity, and reveal glimpses of our soul's purpose. Tune in with us and discover how intuition leads to clarity and life direction, why spiritual connection amplifies inner guidance, stories, reflections, and tools to strengthen your intuitive flow. And this isn't just a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, it's a cosmic activation
Hmm.
in some way, right? It's deep.
Yes.
So get comfy, open your heart, and let the cosmic sisters guide you through the mystery of Insight 6. And I want to give a heads up here. We launched a 12-part series in May this year, where Corinne and I are going to dive into the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. And throughout the year, we will explore its insights and real world applications, culminating in a full summary of all revelations. That's beautiful. It's exciting and it's
Hmm.
so powerful information. Join the journey and we stream the series. We said twice a month, but we're going to do it every 2 weeks from now on because some months actually we have 5 Wednesdays, so that's why we are bringing this up. And join us as we embark on this journey of discovery together. You can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. You can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. A lot of slash and dash.
That's right.
And our last show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sisters with the beautiful duo Corinne and Anne was last Wednesday, July 23rd. And we talked about embracing illumination, the journey of reaching the light. And we do go live every week for you at youtube.com/at angel place on earth/streams. And right after the show, we stream the replay at facebook.com/cosmic guardians. And yeah, I think I'm ready to dive straight into today's show. How about that?
All right. Well, this is exciting because after talking about illumination last week, this just really, no pun intended, sheds light on what we're talking about this week. Uh, there again, that synchronicity. It seems that it is divinely guided that we bring up one thing that flows into the other. And I would like to start with, and I love the way that you named this, the awakening of the divine connection. That's perfect. And it's something that just came to me, and I call it the beginning. A gentle breeze caresses your body. The scent of air after a morning rain is accompanied by the wonderful smells of the flowers and nature. A ray of sunshine illuminates a distant mountain. The song of a bird brings peace and harmony. A feeling of awe fills your being. You are compelled to sit and wonder as this new awareness fills the depths of your soul. You are becoming. The rhapsody of the inner rhythm brings new vibrations to the beating of your heart. Your eyes see, and your third eye opens, and it reveals the wonders of your imagination. You are becoming. A peace, a knowing, an anticipation are filling your very soul. This feeling so magnificent and filled with wonder, you are beginning to feel complete. Step out of the chaos into the splendor of the sublime, into your connection to the mind's humanness, your purpose, your gift of conscious connection, your gift to all humanity. Allow the beginning. And this is where we are, folks, with the sixth insight.
And that is absolutely stunning. That is also guidance, for you, because you are so tuned in. And I just want to mention something like we just talked about before we went live. And being or walking this path and trying our best to develop ourselves and tap into ourselves and our guidance and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes us, you said BS detectors, great BS detectors, right? So
Absolutely.
so that's another reason. It doesn't mean that we come to that place and say, well, we are right all the time, but we are so in tune that we can understand when something is maybe not really real. It may have become too fluffy or something, but this is the real deal. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a beautiful poem,
Thank you.
divinely
I
guided through you.
Divine guidance, and we're talking about intuition. And um, for over 45 years, unbeknownst to me, I had been prepared to be able to all of a sudden have all of this. I call it a download, and information comes, and beautiful, beautiful conversations that I'm having with my higher self. And at first, I kept it, well, until the last year or so, I've kept it kind of to myself, like, well, that's wonderful. They're kind of giving me guidance, my private teacher, and so forth. And I realize that all of humanity, and again, in the Celestine Prophecy, we learned a couple of weeks ago that sharing our combined information may be the key for someone else to find another piece of the puzzle, which will help us find another piece of the puzzle. So by keeping it to myself, I really wasn't allowing the evolution to take place. So this is a beautiful learning that that we are going back to the Celestine prophecies, where both you and I got our little nudge, and I think this is just a perfect timing, divine timing.
Indeed, it is, and we are walking our talk always. So when we go through these teachings again, because we've gone through them a few times before, right?
Yes, yes,
It's so intriguing to realize that, okay, without me thinking about it consciously, I'm actually living most of it.
yes,
And that is
and
what happens. That, it's a sign of the power of the teachings.
yes. And this is beautiful. I'm in the process of doing the third attunement in Reiki for my student, and part of that awareness, people can mechanically do Reiki, but if you are going to really live it, feel it, and allow it to reach its potential, you need to master self. And self needs to be rediscovered. So I had her read the Celestine Prophecies. I had her read the Four Agreements, and we discussed them because the journey into becoming is doing the homework. And those who think that they can just, skip from A to Z, they there's nothing in between. I mean, from A to Z, and you have nothing when you go from A to Z, there's nothing there. But if you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth, then you are learning from each of the different steps that you take. And this is beautiful because this precious journey that we are on, it's slowly you get kind of nudged. You are going, this is just not right for me. And you realize that so much has been hidden from you, so much has been taken away from you, and you know there's more. And what is
Yeah.
that more? It is to reveal a deeper, truer meaning of ourselves, and that restlessness that we feel, we allow it to lead us to open our eyes and let in this awareness. And we do, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. We start into this thing, a lot of trepidation, because we're stepping into this mass confusion. But we seem to sense that there's a connection somewhere. We found in the second
Yeah.
insight that everything is energy, and we are
Yeah.
connected beyond our even understanding, and our inner growth begins to develop. And then we're showed the energy will guide us through synchronicity. So, how about that, lady?
That is powerful. That's very powerful. And I want to read a little bit from James Redfield's own original text, just part
Yes.
of it, right?
Yeah.
About the sixth insight from the Celestine Prophecy, the role of intuition. Trusting intuition helps guide us.
Yes.
Experiencing moments of profound spiritual connections opens us to the sixth insight. We begin to receive a sense of clarity for where synchronicity is taking us, what our life direction might be. And this consciousness brings strong intuitions and guides us to our mission in this life. This could fall within any area of human endeavor or in the areas of life, from relationships to finding passion in a career, education, business, medicine, or government services. It is usually a vague glimpse of our future destiny, one that invokes in us a heightened sense of inspiration and fulfillment. Through somewhat undetermined, our intuitions can stand as a general goal that will help us understand and follow our synchronistic path and help us move forward. And I want to add something here too, because I get a lot of questions from people asking about, they want to change their life, their destiny, their purpose. But I always say that because this is a part of it too, even in workplaces that sound very earthly, grounded here in this dimension, right? We still have a gift to share to people. Nothing is
Absolutely.
actually ordinary here. So we don't need to be a psychic on the phone line like I am doing, or a Reiki master. Maybe some people are nurses, that's a healer too. Some people are doctors, that's also a healer. Other people may be coaches. That's also, bringing out a gift. I think the important thing is that we just don't get into an occupation or study because we feel that is where people want us to go, we have to choose from our heart, right? From our
Yes,
intuition, our um our heart, you
yes.
know.
And you have to move past everybody else's expectations of what you should be. And when you find what really motivates you, as I said, the world is made up of so many different people, and the passion that someone puts in for doing the dishes or creating a meal or raising a child or caring for animals or farming, it's the passion, it's the purpose that they have, knowing that they are being fulfilled, but they are fulfilling something greater than themselves. So
Yes,
to move into anything, a spiritual path, and think that I've got to attain this um, ethereal image, no. Being being human is part of our journey. We chose to inhabit this human spacesuit to have these beautiful, unique expressions. And when you find that the energy and the consciousness will guide you, this is beautiful. And the synchronicity and learning to trust it, because your intuition is what sends you these messages, and it allows you to listen, to trust, and be receptive. And another thing
yes,
that is so important is being willing to share,
yeah,
because many times we're intimidated by that, because we've had experiences where, first of all, we're ridiculed for what we're thinking. But when you have a feeling and you're talking to someone and you say something or they say something, this is how the puzzles are put together. And being able to find that trust within yourself, and that also is coming from the intuition.
exactly. And I want to add something here because you talked about creating a meal, cooking, right? So if we go back to Mr. Masaru Emoto with the water crystals,
Oh,
how
absolutely.
they are affected by thoughts and actions and love and everything, right? Or negativity, or if we don't do anything with it. So if you put your passion into food, you can imagine the liquid in the food. And
Hmm.
every food has some liquid in it, right?
Yes,
That's going to be the most wonderful meal we ever had.
yes. And it's, I have gone to restaurants where I have felt the love that was put into my food and called the chef out. And this one time, this young man comes and he started crying when I told him, I felt the love you put into my food. Very simple. It wasn't a big fancy restaurant, it was eggs and bacon and a pancake. But I felt the vibration of love. And he said his passion was to lovingly feed people. And when he wasn't working at the restaurant, that's what he did. He lovingly fed the people that were homeless and so forth. And you can have the simplest food, but if it is prepared with love, it is going to nourish you in ways that you can't believe. So, you know,
Yeah.
we
And,
all
you
have our
know,
way of sharing.
yes. And when we choose where we put our energy and attention, meaning that where our passion lies, what we're passionate about doing, right? Can't
Mhm.
go wrong ever
No,
because we love what we do when we're going to put love into it, right?
exactly.
Mm.
And love, unconditional love, literally means there's no strings attached. I'm not giving you love because you're going to give me something or I expect something from you. I'm giving love because I am love. And it flows. And allowing yourself to become this persona, whatever you do, whatever you touch, you're always going to bring that inspiration. And you never know when that one little smile that you give someone, that one little thank you. I mean, I have a habit of thanking if I see a janitor that is cleaning, you know, where I am. I will stop and thank them for preparing a clean place for me to be because
Yeah.
it's really a thankless job. I thank I thank policemen. I thank people that are having to go into the army, and I say I'm working on you never having to do this job again. However, I'm thanking you because you have chosen to put yourself between me and something that could be not good. Just that simple thank you, that simple appreciation, that simple lifting up. And because we found in the Celestine Prophecy, everything is energy. We also
Yes.
found that people crave it, but they don't know how to create it themselves. And they develop tactics of stealing that energy from you. And you've got the people that are aloof, and you have to keep talking to them and trying to get the information out, and the intimidators, and you know, we've all met these people. However, we learn that when we create our energy, we learn that we can still be this giving person, but we do have boundaries, which are so important.
And to all of those people who are being called too nice, too sweet, too kind, right?
Exactly.
Too loving, um, don't change that part of you, but create boundaries and
Yeah,
take a step back, observe how you can manage to still be you. Don't change yourself
exactly.
because the world crave it, right?
That's right. I have a client that I'm working with, and uh, the comment is, why I ask, why are you doing that particular thing? Uh, because of what people think and say. And it's interesting because people go to funerals not because they're paying respect to the person that has died, but oh, I love this person. I don't know anything about her, and I never took care of her when she was living, but I'm here showing everybody how much I love her, which is just so BS. I'm sorry,
Yes,
that's so phony. And I just made this mention to her. I said, even if you're kind and loving and caring, they're going to talk about you in a negative way if that's what they're going to think. And
yes,
no matter what you do, you have a certain society that are envious, and they're going to try and bring you down, maybe not to your face, but that's just unfortunately how humans have been taught. So going there and making this big show that I am here and I care, you're still going to get, well, she didn't care. We know that. I mean, you're still going to get talked about. So why not be true to yourself and not go to the stupid thing, and then be talked about that way? You're not going to avoid it, is what I'm saying. And be true to yourself, because the opinions of others really don't matter.
no, they don't. Because what someone else is thinking about you, Corinne, or me, or you, any one of you out there,
Yes,
it's their idea, their perception, their opinion, period. And usually, no one has the whole picture. No one is living inside of you. So if
exactly.
you tune into yourself into your intuition, that's going to help you through that. And that's going to help you detach from that. It doesn't mean that you are going to walk around being angry at those people. You're going to come to peace with it. You're just going to say, okay, I hear you. That's not who I am, but
Yes,
you are entitled to your perception of me. That's fine.
exactly. Exactly. And and I respect the fact that you have an opinion. Um, However, I don't have to get emotionally attached to it. I don't have to be there. Uh, and the beauty of living the Celestine prophecy and the guidelines of letting our intuition lead us and being unafraid of stepping into something that doesn't has not been our norm. It's okay to embrace your sacred self because it will enhance your daily life. It enriches your relationships, and you automatically inspire those around you because they can see your aura. They can
Yes,
see your light, your illumination.
yes. And that's brilliant. Um, illuminating the path of life. That's the topic for our common article that we share here.
Yes.
Moments of deep spiritual connection unlock the transformative power of the sixth insight. These experiences offer us a profound sense of clarity, revealing the direction in which synchronicity is guiding us and hinting at our unique life mission. This awakened consciousness brings forth strong intuitions, helping us identify our purpose and align our actions with it. And I want to bring something in here too, that my perception of what is important. Um, Life mission may be something that we label as something very fancy or not very fancy, right? So
Hmm.
it's not important because, in my perspective, our life mission is things that we do that we are passionate about, but also that helps us to grow and dig within.
Hmm.
So it can be anything. And also, I want to say, yeah, that janitor or that person who comes and empties the garbage can.
Yes.
Um, People often label that as dirty work, nothing that is really relevant, right? It's not a good job.
Right.
But if no one would do that, we
Oh,
would live in a mess
yes.
in
Yes.
just a few days, right?
Absolutely. So, blessing all those who are willing to do the jobs that we really don't want to do, number one, but also they're the necessity. They're keeping everything moving. And one time, I when I was having some conversations with some of the Tibetan monks, and they said having joy with what you are doing in the moment, whether it is walking meaningfully, whether it is doing the dishes, whether it is in conversation, to be in the now and to put everything into it. What more purpose could there be? It's not about fame and fortune. And yet there are some beautiful, beautiful uh, artists and uh, people in the public eye that out of the public eye are doing these incredible humanitarian things, like the singer Sting. Now, you would never think that he would do anything but take care of himself and everything else. He has opened uh, places for the hungry to be fed, and he pays for all of these homeless places, to prepare food. And he has about 15 of them. And he supports them. Now, he didn't go around saying, "This is me, look what I did." But that is his purpose. And his profession has allowed him to be able to follow this purpose. But there are many, many people in the limelight that if you knew what they were doing out of the limelight, that is what their purpose is.
Yes, exactly. And I have something like a hint to tell everybody as well. Sometimes, if we feel the urge, and our own mission and path is to dig deeper into spiritual stuff, like um, digging within, opening up our intuition. Sometimes jobs that may not require a lot of thinking can be a blessing, like being a
Yes,
janitor, right?
yes, yes,
Uh, Cleaning things because you are doing stuff, usually by yourself, not a lot of questions, not a lot of things, so you can receive,
yes,
right?
yes. And there's a beautiful, speaking of cleaning, there is a beautiful process that when you're cleaning internally and then you start cleaning in the physical, and
Yeah.
the rewards of watching something remanifest in its brilliance is the same thing that happens within our souls, because all of the homework that we do, and I know you have, we don't go, "Oh, I like that idea, this is what I am." We pursue it, we ingest it, we see if it fits, we work around it, we put the time and effort and money into our adventure. And uh, this is the thing that a lot of people, because everything is so instantly gratification, you cannot achieve your highest purpose if you're not willing to do a little bit of the grunt work and
No,
to
you
watch.
cannot,
Yeah,
um, because I think that also many may think that, okay, I'm going to do this course, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do that thing, running around to different places, right? And doing, and it's a good
yeah,
thing to educate yourself, but you are going to have to do the work. There's no shortcut around that.
no,
So the courses you are going to, they are there for you to open you up, to help you, but you still need to do the work. No
yes,
one can do it for anyone else. No
yeah,
one.
and to always, if you start listening to your intuition, if you start making decisions by a higher calling, by a higher consciousness, each time you do this, you're, it's like lifting weights. You're a little bit stronger. You're going to get a little more out of that intuitive information. You're going to have a little bit more insight. You're going to have a visceral feeling that this is the way to go. And becoming pure human and becoming this divinely connected being, when you start following this train of living, there's no way you'll go back to that hit and miss, you know?
No, it's not. And most people want to know, okay, I have gone through a lot of things in my past, and therefore I am shaped this way, right? Yeah,
Yes.
correct in some way. And then they want to know what's going to come, right? But the thing is, here and now, we don't have anything else. What is in
Right.
the past is already gone. We can change that past. We can change this moment, and what we do with it. So we have the power to change. For instance, I'm not going to be a victim because I've gone through some challenges in my past, because
Correct.
it's a choice. I'm going to choose that. And this moment, if I choose that, I'm embracing myself. I'm stepping into my power. I listen to my intuitions, and that is going to bring me. I'm going to reveal something that's going to be interesting for many, because I do work as a psychic advisor on a phone line, right? And I never call psychics, and I tell you why.
Neither do I.
No, I know, and because we don't need to do that, because you follow the signs through your intuition here and now, and
Yes.
that's going to reveal. And sometimes even us don't get the full answer at once, but we have patience, we have trust, and we have faith in our ability. So we are chilled out in one way or another, right? We
Right.
don't stress over it. We know that we are going to observe the signs, and where we feel that the energy is going to open up, that's where we're going to go. And
Yes.
another thing that people many times think, if I encounter the even a very small amount of resistance, that's a sign it's the wrong way. No, it's not, right?
Yes. And I'm kind of giggling as we're doing this because we also have to have, stubborn tenacity, uh,
Yes.
and realize that we know ourselves to a certain degree. We're always learning. There is no perfection. We are perfection, but we're still shaping that perfection. But we have the trust and the faith and the knowing that we are divinely connected. Therefore, we will have that patience. We will have a different perspective of how we see things, and that ability to allow the process.
Yeah,
That's a that's a
exactly.
big one, is to allow the process.
Yeah, and something else with allowing the process. If I'm trying to fight things, I'm holding on to the energy. I want to manipulate the energy. I want my outcome to be. I want that person to come into my life, or
Oh
I
yes,
want 110% to do that thing over there, right? But maybe it's not falling into place for me. That means that I'm keeping myself in a stuck place because I'm trying to manipulate the energy
manipulate. Yeah.
rather than letting it free
Yep. Yep.
to work for me. Because when we do that, we don't need to fight for anything. For instance, um, many ask questions about, I met this person, it can be like a friend or something, whatever, right? Can I trust them? But that is something your intuition is going to tell you, because you are interacting with someone. And even if our intuition is something that's coming from within, we use all the other senses as well, right? Don't be
Absolutely.
anxious about it. Just leave the energy to work, and you don't need to fight for it. You're going to see if you are compatible or not. You're going to
Yes.
be able to read the signs.
Yes, and forcing the issue, and saying, well, I know this is what's for me and I'm going to go for it and everything else, and ignoring the signs, so to speak, is different than just being so timid and scared that, oh, it looks like that's going to happen and everything else. There is a difference. There is a calmness about knowing at a gut
Yeah,
feeling. But when your whole being tells you, it's like these uh, horror films that they make. and you see the group of people and they say, oh, let's go hide in the basement with all the uh, torture equipment. That's going to be a good place for us to go. Or we're going to open the door when we know we shouldn't open the door. I mean, we seem to get the signs and then we go, oh, they're not for me. Oh, I'm better than that. Oh, well, I feel strongly about this. And you know what? Why don't you just watch and see what happens? Because we do not have the overhead picture. And as a person watching the horror films, don't be stupid. Don't open that door. Don't hide under the car that's going to be blown up. I mean, it's but we do that in life, you know. And
Yeah, and there are another type of people calling. They want confirmation, and that can be a good thing for a certain period of time. But at
yes,
one point, you need to start to trust what you are receiving because intuition is never off, never.
yes, it's a lot of times when I'm explaining people uh, my role in their accomplishing the goal that they choose to accomplish, whether it's getting well or resolving a situation. And I said, coming from a golfing family, I'm like your caddy. I'll carry your clubs for you. I'll help you select a club. I might go out and I might tee the ball up for you, but you have to hit the shot. So this is life, and our intuition is our caddy, and it's kind of guiding you and it's helping you, but you have to either you have to start trusting yourself enough to go, I know I can make that shot, or I can do this particular thing. And this is what all of the insights are leading us to, is building that internal trust with our divine self.
Yes. And that is beautiful, because at one point on our journey or whatever, right? We need to start to trust what we are receiving. But I think it can feel like a challenge for people sometimes because we are not really taught to trust intuition. It's something we,
Exactly.
we don't touch. It's not taught to us.
Yes.
So, but it's never too late to start.
Never.
And if you just write some notes here and there for things that are happening, you're going to reveal a pattern for yourself. Because even if there's a gazillion different words for this, right? For each and every sense and everything, terminology, it works differently for all of us because we are unique, right? And
Very much
because
so.
we are sitting here and I'm going to make you all laugh today because we are sitting here and talking like usual. It doesn't mean that we don't sometimes override our intuition. And for
That's true.
me, that is the year today, 30th of July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Because I broke my leg last year and I had this feeling I shouldn't go on the bike, electric bike, right?
Uh-huh.
And I did. I overrode my intuition.
Yes.
And I shouldn't have. But anyway, maybe that was what I needed to, because I'm so tenacious and stubborn.
Right.
Uh, so I always say, if someone can do that, so can I. But sometimes we also need to realize that we do change over the course of a lifetime and
Yes.
listening to ourselves a little bit more, right?
Yes. Yes. And uh, and also we have very carefully been taught to ignore those subtle intuitions, that those are not real, those are coming from somewhere else, and overriding that what will people think situation. And
Yes.
but small children, especially before they start talking, they live on their intuition. They live on perceiving what they're feeling, and they react very truthfully when there is something that is not just right. It's just like with animals, they don't have all of this pre-designed stuff. Well, you can't depend on that because you need to read a book. You can't do, and this is what reading things like the Celestine Prophecy, the Four Agreements, they help us get back on track. We're not broken. We're not imperfect. We've just been carefully programmed to fall into line, to follow the norm. And uh, you and I decided at a very young age that the norm just wasn't going to work for us.
No, I've never followed the norm, not in any way.
No, no, you know,
And maybe that is you could call that a life mission, just to be for everybody, be their own unique, authentic self,
exactly.
and not following the norm without questioning,
Yes,
um, and just be who they are and remember who they are, because that's a part of remembering who you are. Maybe that is why we really are here.
yes, and there is no time limit on this. I used to ask because I was raising a family and I did not have the opportunity to really become my authentic self. And when I did, I was in my 40s. And I often question because I was given a vision of what I was supposed to do, and I'm looking and I'm going, uh, well, if you guys want me to do this, first of all, where are the instructions? And why are we starting with me so late in life? And they lovingly said, because your life experiences are going to be your gift in
Yes,
moving through this. And
yes.
it's so right, so true. If I hadn't had those experiences, I would not be who I am today.
No, you
So
wouldn't, because you are a sum of everything you've been going through in your life.
yeah,
So, and that is honorable. That is beautiful. That's a blessing.
yes, but you can't do it like in an hour. And I lovingly laugh sometimes. A person will watch me for a while, and I had one person come up and say to me, "I'm going to be exactly like you," and and I lovingly laughed to myself, and I said, "Well, do you have 40 years to take 3 and 4 months doing a certain process to eliminate certain things and looking into the shadows in your life and cleaning up? Are you willing to do that, or do you think that you're going to be able to, take an instant pill and then whoosh, you know, do what I do? Because I am a combination of all of these experiences. I'm not just one, and I have been polishing all the attributes of myself and delving into them. And sometimes it hasn't been pleasant. A lot of times it hasn't been pleasant, but the results are so blissful and beautiful and perfect and with purpose that all the bumps and bruises were well worth it.
Yeah. And we are not here to be punished. We are not here to suffer. That's not the purpose, right? But
No,
at
not
the
at
same
all.
time, we are very convenient as human beings. So if we are not encountering something to question, or a little bit of resistance here and there, or challenges or whatever, we are just going to slide through. we're not going to learn anything, are
That's
we?
exactly right. And as I'm very passionate about this. Greg Braden has really stepped forth and without fear, and I say this intentionally, written. It's not necessarily just a book. It's almost like read this and read the facts because he gives you places to search this out. How society is deliberately trying to make us less than human, to eliminate our intuition, to eliminate our cosmic connection. This is a real thing. We are at the cusp of humanity losing its humanity. And laws and bills have been set in place to allow these things to happen. This isn't a paranormal, that's not the word I want. Um, this isn't the black ops telling you, oh, conspiracy. This is not a
Yeah,
conspiracy. This is reality. And we need to realize as the human race, in order to evolve and continue to be pure human, we need to be aware and we need to lovingly stand up or we're going to disappear. And
yeah,
this is not in the basically the the prediction is by 2035 this we will be on a path that we will not be able to recover from. So um, I say this with love. I do not say this with fear. I say this with the joy of everything that we're doing and preparing you to tap into your
yeah,
intuition, to become your authentic self. This is the way that we will remain this perfect, beautiful human.
exactly. And I think that Greg Braden um, streamed a video very yesterday or today or a couple of days ago. I can't really tell. I think I put myself up to get a notification when that's
Yeah.
going to be. Um, that is really intriguing. I don't remember exactly the name, and I think that's the one you're talking about, right?
Just pure
And
human. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Because it is true what you're saying, and we shouldn't give up our humanity. And a lot of things have been going on for decades,
oh
actually.
yeah, yeah. It's been a calculated um, changing evolution into this other um, species. And I wondered when I was shown 40 years ago um, of the things that were coming to be, and I kind of go, oh, this oh science fiction and everything else, and I hadn't learned really to trust my intuition, and now I'm realizing that I came here at this time to be here at this time to be able to assist humanity through this evolution. And I'm going, like we've mentioned before, I should have read the fine print because it's,
Yeah, because now we are in the middle of it, aren't we?
yes, yes.
We are.
And, and finding all these wisdom people and finding and trusting your intuition and finding your authentic self. Um, these are tools, and
Yeah,
I am
and
privileged to be with it.
it's more important than ever that we actually do, because that way we know what next step to take for ourselves,
Exactly,
right? I have
exactly.
something, I have something intriguing. Are you up for a few reflection questions?
Oh, I love your reflection questions.
So, about intuition and our topic today, right? So, when was the last time your intuition led you somewhere unexpected yet powerful?
And I listened to it, ha ha ha, on July 30th. Okay, I'm going to go back to when I was first introduced to Reiki. I was just finishing up 1,000 hours of massage school. And fortunately, our teacher had uh, exposed us to all kinds of different types of energy work. I'd never heard of Reiki. And my classmates said to me, why don't you take Reiki? And I go, one more thing, And she said, if you take the first level, you will be able to work in a person's energy field and not absorb their stuff, and they can't absorb yours. And I thought, it might be a good tool. I did it. A year later, she said, you want to take the second level? I go, not doing anything this weekend. Still not really impressed. After I had the second level, I'm working on a client and again, experimenting. I said, look, I just had this stuff called Reiki. I want to do it with you. And I was planning on going in and becoming not a chiropractor, but a myopractor, uh, which is a very unique way of working with the body. And as I'm working with her, I put my hands on her, and her shoulder kind of clicked into place. And then the other shoulder, I said, did you hear that? I said, did you feel that? She goes, yeah. I said, oh, that's cool. And I'm at the head of the table, and at the foot of the table, through my intuition, I connected with my higher self. And this luminous vision appeared to me, and I heard this voice say, this is where I want you to work. Now, I could have gone, okay, what did I eat last night or whatever? And it struck me so to the heart and to the soul that I spent a year finding the next step so I could become a Reiki master teacher. And listening to my intuition on that led me to where I sit today.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That's beautiful. Next question.
Oh, okay.
How do you currently recognize the difference between fear and inner guidance?
Okay. Me personally, inner guidance is gentle. It gives me options. It shows me possibilities. Fear freezes. And I know that there's been things where I should have gone into fear, but because I am using all of the gifts that I've been given, I've been very fortunate that when I was in a fearful situation with a very aggressive person, my inner knowing allowed me to stop his attack without fear. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be a time where I may experience fear, but I feel that with all that I'm teaching and learning and being connected, consciously connected to the higher realms, that in the face of fear, I'm given a peace so I can deal with what I'm having to deal with. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does actually. And I've experienced the moments, or sometimes there has been hours actually, um, dealing with people who potentially can flip over, become dangerous.
Yes.
Um, And that was when I was working selling tickets at a commuter train station, right? So you meet
Yeah,
a lot of people. Of course, I was sitting behind glass. You couldn't break that glass, unbreakable. But anyway, it's you have someone there and you have to deal with it. And I think that was a great school for me.
yes,
It's about how we um, express ourselves, right?
exactly.
And what we are saying, how we treat someone, because there's always a way. I wouldn't recommend to be out with that person face to face, of course, right? You feel a little bit safer when you're sitting inside.
Yes,
But you can manage many situations, and sometimes if you are face to face with someone, maybe it's better when you see someone approaching, maybe you turn around or turn right
yes,
or left, right? Instead of encountering it. Um, but you can overcome. And when I follow my guidance, I feel like, I don't step into fear very easily. And I think
yeah,
because of the school, I call it school, even if I don't believe we come here to go to school, but that had been my schooling in this lifetime.
yes,
Um, and using your senses, intuition, but also sometimes we need our mind. So can I do something here to feel a little bit safer? Can I overlook what I'm going to do? For instance, parking my car at a place where there's no way to hide around it when I'm going to catch it in the middle of the night. Things of that
yes.
nature, using common sense, right?
Common sense, yeah.
Yeah. So, next question.
Oh,
What
there's more.
practices, yeah, always five, right?
Ooh,
What
okay.
practices help you tune in more deeply to your intuitive knowing?
I would say that meditation is probably my first go to, because when I silence my mind, then I can tap into the consciousness of the oneness, and move into this divine space where there is an inner knowing, and it strengthens my ability to recognize what is my intuition and what is an accumulation of other thoughts that might be in my mind. And by doing this, I strengthen the ability to recognize um, what is true and what is not true.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, just being present in the moment and feeling it in, observing without judging, just feeling it in. That's what I usually do. And a lot of times I just know. I used to try to figure out how I knew, but I just jumped that part because it's not really important anymore.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
you just know and you get it, and that's what's important. And then you take it from there. And it's also standing in your full power when you take that moment and you say to yourself, okay, this is how it looks right now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure, but I'm not fearful over it, or I'm not um, unhappy about it. It just is what it is right now. So I'm not fighting either, right?
Yes.
And then the next step will reveal itself.
Yes. I love the way that you said that. You had all these questions. I mean, we always do when we start this path. Well, how does that work, and what does it do? And there are times that people will say, "Well, how does that? How do you do what you do?" And I go, I do it with intuition and faith. And if I spend all the time knowing how I do it, and I lovingly say, nobody has given me how to teach it to anyone. So therefore, I don't need to know the why. And we spend so much time. Well, why does karma exist? And why does this? And why does that? Move into the now. And
Yeah.
actually, these things will be revealed to you when you are living in the now instead of living in the past. Well, I was this or I was that, and then I'm going to this and that. It detaches your energy field and fragments it. Is staying in the now when you get an intuition, when you get a feeling, when you get a knowing, not a belief, but a knowing. Then you go, okay, my knowing is saying go this direction and all will be well.
Yeah.
And this is flexing those muscles.
Exactly. And I struggle with something because that knowing sometimes can be something that feels a little bit uncomfortable knowing, right? So I
Exactly.
struggled with how am I started, how am I going to manage this now? But we don't need to act on things in the sense that we're going to change someone or correct someone or do something else, or we just have to be there, right?
That's right.
And
Exactly.
understand and not judge anything. We don't need to judge anything, right?
No,
No.
no. So you got more,
So,
huh?
yeah, two more.
Ooh.
Where in your life are you being asked to trust more?
The first part didn't come in clear. What did you say?
Where in your life are you being asked to trust more? Is there any part of your life where you're being
Where do
asked
you
to trust?
come up with these questions? These are where in my life am I being at to ask? Okay, uh, this is rather difficult. I would say that the hardest thing for all people to do is to allow. That's why I use it quite a bit. And when things don't look like they're working out, to be able to trust in the process and allow it to come to fruition without going, well, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this, and putting our limitations on the possibility of this splendific opportunity that's waiting right around the corner. But if we keep interfering with it, we keep tweaking it and keep pushing it a little bit away and a little bit away, and to just trust and allow. I think allowing
Yeah,
is where I'm always uh, making an effort to really be in the allowing and be in the now.
yeah. And I think you said that beautifully. It came to me something that I used to do in the past, right? So I was wanting to manifest something in my life, and I figured out the details and I knew the goal. But then after a couple of years, I discovered that, I'm going to reach my goal, but it's not going to come in the way that I think it's going to come. I
Exactly.
think that's a little bit like what you said too. Now I learned that. So what I need to maybe do, I don't need to trust more, but I need to listen every time. That's my challenge because a year ago I don't say anything more, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
However, that experience uh, allowed some awareness. It allowed. Um, I watched as you allowed your process to proceed without pushing the envelope. You did everything you were supposed to do. You had the right attitudes. You were positive. All of these things, but you gave the physical body time to do what it needed to do. And that surrender into allowing the process, I
Yeah.
watched that, and that was a beautiful thing. I mean, uh, I often ask the universe, please give me what I need to learn in increments I can handle, um, and I really do not need to, be hit over the head with a 2x4. However, sometimes that requires it because I am a little tenacious. Um, but it was beautiful watching you allow the process to proceed and doing everything on your part, but also having that ability to trust the process. And it was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Thank you. And maybe that was my kind of graduation, you could say, because I had to. By the way, if everybody doesn't know, I managed to break my leg, multiple fractures,
Yes,
foot
multiple.
and knee. Yeah, multiple. Uphill eh, with an electric bike, no speed. Okay. And I found myself, as most people first, because I'm a little bit stubborn too. Well, I'm going to be out of here just a few days. I'll never be
Yes.
saying that. But at the same time, because I have come to um, understand a lot of things, so I developed my motto. Part of it I grabbed from someone, and part of it I kind of made it fit to myself. And I started to say, I do what I can with what I currently have, and I look forward. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we find ourselves in a situation there's I can't, whatever I'm going to do, I can cry, I can laugh, I can scream, I can do whatever I want. But that's not going to change that fact, right? So
that's right.
we just have to deal with it when things come because we're still in this physical world. And this physical world gives us some challenges sometimes. And sometimes it's because maybe we didn't listen to that intuition we should have had.
Yes,
At the same time, yeah, I learned a lot of things from it. And I came to the point when I know that the doctor said you have some complicated fractures. And I said, yeah, I'm being out of here soon.
yeah. I saw those complicated fractures, and I'm going. I love you, Anna, but soon is going to be a lot further away than you thought. But the beauty of it, and the universe is humorous and loving, and
Yes.
the whole idea that this little scenario that you uh, were going to experience, you did it right in front of three of the greatest bone people in the world, and you did it in Sweden, where bone injuries on the legs are just like their bread and butter. So
Yeah.
the humor in it is that if you got to have a heart attack, do it in a heart hospital. I mean, it's and
Exactly. And something else that is a miracle for me still. On that bicycle path, right? Um, I had three doctors waiting for the ambulance to come and get me, right? Three
yes,
doctors.
yeah.
Um, the first one came within 30 seconds.
I mean,
So it's like you're going to have this because you didn't listen, not as a punishment, but because of a consequence of my choice, right?
exactly.
And but we have your back, so we're
We
sending
have
you
your
three
back. Yeah,
doctors.
yeah. I mean, the time that I fell off of a shovel, I was out shoveling in the front yard, and I wanted to really get that shovel deep into the ground. So, for some reason, I mean, I already had pushed it in with one foot. I put the other foot on the shovel. Now, I wish somebody had taken a picture of it because now I'm holding onto the shovel. Both feet are on the shovel, and now the shovel decides to fall backwards, and
Oh,
I just go like this, and I needed that experience for some reason or other, and yet it was as if I was caught in the arms of the angels. I did not hurt myself, and I was just kind of laid down very gently. So I think when we start really living in that connection, um, our life experiences are given to us because we chose to be human in this lifetime. But I think that they are smoothed out and allow us
yeah,
to really understand what it is that we are experiencing with a minimal amount of uh, inconvenience. I mean, and that is you were inconvenienced for quite a while, but that's not what how I meant. It could have been so much more traumatic, is what I'm saying. So
it could have been worse always. And it's
yes,
about how we take on things, right?
exactly,
And
exactly.
and I think I've been through enough experiences in this lifetime to really, okay, it is what it is right now. I can't
That's
change
right.
it, so I'm going to have to go with it. I'm going with it. What else am I going to do? Am I going
Yeah,
to fight? I'm going to suffer if I fight,
and the four agreements.
right?
Today, your best is this, and tomorrow, your best will be a different
Exactly.
best. And you can't compare the two. And that's so all of the gifts that we've been leading up to and everything else. I do want to tell our listeners that this stuff really works.
Yeah.
It's not we live it. We don't just repeat it. We don't just read it and then repeat it. We're not passers of information. We're passers of experiences.
Exactly. Last question.
Oh,
How
another.
might acting on your how might acting on your intuition shift your current reality?
Say that
That
again.
was a good one too, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Ha-
How might acting on your intuition shift your current reality?
Oh, drastically, drastically. Um, when you're living in energy, every subtle thing that you do and you say changes the vibrations and the frequencies and your perception. So, how you interpret your intuition, and it's going to lead you to make a decision that's going to shift what could be. Um, you shifted your reality by intuitively knowing that okay, this is going to happen when you fell. However, all of the other pieces are going to be in play to allow it to shift. And I think
Mm.
every day when we connect to our inner knowing, whether it's cleaning the house, whether it's going to the doctor, um, allows us to shift the reality of what it's going to be. I
Yeah.
it's like we touch the water and the wave goes and allows it. So I think it's constant. Every word that we're saying right now is having a different effect. So that's a big
Yes, it
responsibility.
is constant. Yeah, and if you don't listen, it can have huge consequences. And if you
Oh,
do
yeah.
listen, it can have huge consequences that are more positive, right?
And great possibilities. So it's yeah, it's a beautiful thing being human.
It is. It is. So, my beautiful cosmic sis star,
Whoa.
are you ready to wrap this up?
I really think so because the hot seat that I'm sitting in is getting really, really, really hot right now.
So, and that cosmic soul family wraps our radiant ride through the Celestine Prophecy Insight 6. The role of intuition. Trusting intuition helps guide us. Remember, your inner guidance is more than a gut feeling, it's a whisper from the universe, nudging you toward alignment, truth, and purpose. By listening in, you unlock a roadmap only you can follow. It's unique for each one of us, right?
Exactly.
We hope this insight has sparked something magical within you. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep letting synchronicity light your path. So, thank you for watching the Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with Anne and Corinne, and see you soon. We see you, we honor you, we thank you for journeying with us. Keep
Yes.
trusting, keep evolving, and never forget you are always guided. Cosmic hugs and soul waves from the Cosmic Sisters.
Yes. And allow your new beginning.
Yes,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye bye.